I'm Julie Barkey with this Senate update. A bipartisan group of lawmakers announced a series of proposals under the umbrella the Metropolitan Council Accountability Act. During a news conference on Thursday, state and local leaders conveyed why they believe this package of legislation is needed.
My component of this act is Senate File 71, which is bringing some accountability to the Metropolitan Council. For many years, there has been angst on both sides of the political aisle, as shown by the people the senators that have signed on to my Senate bill, which Senator Rest is here this morning to attest to, is that we have on both sides of the political aisle very deep concerns about the representation that happens on the Metropolitan Council. The governor has stated many times, and we have stated here at the legislature, that it is important to have local control and local accountability wherever possible. This bill, Senate File 71, and the House file number has not come in yet, brings some of that local control to the Metropolitan Council. Here's how it proceeds. Right now, as you know, the Metropolitan Council currently is appointed by the governor of the state of Minnesota. That appointment then comes to the Senate for confirmation and blessing. What we are proposing in Senate File 71 is simply to add one layer, which is local authority and local accountability. What that will do is, effectively, as soon as this governor makes that appointment, it brings into play a 90-day window. Once he appoints, the Met Council rep has 90 days to go to each of their city councils they will represent. Each of the legislators here and city council members all have their geographic districts that they represent. So does the Metropolitan Council. What we're asking is they need to get a resolution of support from at least 50% of their locals based on their qualifications, based on their skills, and get those resolutions within 90 days to the Metropolitan Council. Then, once they're certified that they have that support, then they come to the Senate for confirmation. It's simple, it's direct, it's very nonpartisan. It allows those local cities, and the mayors will attest to this, it allows them to look at the qualifications, look at the skills of the individual. Is this someone that can be supported and be able to support the cities they represent? Or is this someone that really doesn't have the skill set for a very important organization that controls thousands of jobs in the metropolitan area and has over $1 billion worth of budget, at least currently? One other component of this is a removal process that, if a Met Council representative does not perform, if the person does not help their cities, go to bat for their cities, and I can actually provide you a case that I have specific when I was on the Mound City Council of where we had a Met Council rep that wasn't serving their communities well at all. What will happen is these cities then have an opportunity with the same 90-day window. They can pass a resolution of removal. That resolution of removal triggers open another 90-day window. And again, the city councils, by their vote and by their resolution, can chime in saying, we also supply a resolution of removal. And if they get more than 50% of their cities to say, this Met Council representative does not serve us well, that person is removed, and then the governor has to go through the appointment process again.
The voice coming out of the district is that we don't feel that we're represented. We feel that the Met Council has overreached. There are a good number of instances or examples that we have from the Thrive 2040 plan that are clearly out of touch with what's actually going on in the district. Mayors, council members, county commissioners are all very much in touch with that. And one of the best examples was with my own city of Waconia. We were shown to be not growing at the rate that was actually happening on the ground. So we were pulling a good number of housing permits, and the Met Council came back and said that we were going to be slowing down up until 2040 when we had just pulled 108 housing permits. When we confronted the Met Council demographer, he offered very politely that he'd be happy to pencil whip our numbers for us and bring them into alignment with what we thought. Same thing for the city of Watertown. Mayor Washburn can bring that up in a little bit, but they were shown to be shrinking in size when they're pulling housing permits and they're actually growing. This local control that we're trying to seek is going to afford municipalities some voice in the matter of who represents them on the Met Council and to bring some reality back to the situation.
My bill does, and I share that with Senator Chamberlain as the Senate author, it puts the Metropolitan Council's budget, it has to be approved by the legislature. And what they're going to probably tell you is, oh, only 10% of our budget comes from the general fund. Well, 10% of their budget's $100 billion. And as Chair Runbeck said, a lot of those funds also come from other areas, from legacy, from transportation, from other places throughout our overall budget. So I'm very excited that Representative Runbeck is going to be taking a deep dive into this issue and into their budget. We believe that they need to be accountable. As you know, the Met Council was a child of the legislature, and over the years the legislature has continued to kind of twitter away at the legislative authority that we had and gave it over to this body, this regional governance body. And so we want to start taking some of that accountability and bringing it back to the legislature where there are elected officials to hold them accountable.
One of the problems with the Met Council is there is no institutional carryover in knowledge for the members. They all get appointed at once at the pleasure of the governor. And at the very least, we need to reform that.
I spoke directly with at least one Met Council rep. She didn't necessarily think that the recall provision was something she was keen on. However, she read the bill. I gave her a copy of the bill. It's a representative that represents in my area. And she said that the appointment process was something that she didn't have any problems with. And the reason why she didn't is because she works with her cities. She goes out there and works, and she goes to meetings, and she goes to mayor's meetings. She's very deeply involved. On the other hand, I have another Met Council rep in my area that is a ghost. So as far as what the governor believes, I guess we'll find out. But the governor has very specifically said, even as recently as yesterday, he believes in local control. If the governor's words match his actions, he should be very supportive of this. This doesn't interfere with his appointment ability. This doesn't interfere with him being able to say, this is the person I want. All it does is give the mayors and councils an opportunity to vet them out.
I would happen to echo exactly what's been set up here. The last 2040 Thrive plan, our community was actually going to shrink. So we were going to go from about 4,200 people to about 3,800, if I'm remembering that correctly. And we had no say in that. It was just a pencil whip number that the Met Council came up with. And we really get no service from the Met Council. So we're a semi-rural community at the edge of Carver County. We get no bus service. We get really no service whatsoever. And we have no say. So, in fact, our Met Council rep has never been to a city council meeting in our community. So to have that ability to communicate that, to share that information, and to express our concerns and our needs, we need bridges, we need roads, we need transportation systems to get people to our community because they do not even offer mass transit into the city of Watertown.
I met with Senator Osmek in December where he presented this idea to me. It seemed to me that it presented an opportunity to, within the statutes, to really compel local governments and Met Council members to have conversations with one another and to communicate. One of the previous speakers indicated that the Met Council member had never been to their city or visited with their city council, and I don't think that's an uncommon experience. And I think that the having to win the support of a local city council is a step toward really improving that communication, and that's the reason why I support the bill.